Welcome to History Learning. Causes of the Revolt of 1857. In the previous videos, we had discussed about administrative causes, economic causes, social and religious causes. Today we are going to discuss military causes. First point is discontent against service conditions. The Sepoys in the East India Company's army had a number of grievances, which ultimately led to the revolt of 1857. The Sepoys of the Bengal army, a majority of whom were Brahmins and Rajputs, had special grievances of their own. They had a strong sense of resentment as their scale of salary was very low compared to their English counterparts. There was a huge difference in allowances paid to the English and Indian soldiers. They lacked any prospect of promotion. They were usually ill treated by the British officers. And compared as inferior. They were frequently abused and humiliated by them. The British authorities prohibited the Hindu as well as the Muslim sepoys displaying their religious or caste marks. Sepoys were forbidden to wear vermilion mark on their forehead and turban on their head. The Muslim sepoys were forced to shave off their beard. These restrictions wounded the religious sentiments of the sepoys. Our next point is denial of allowances. The extension of British Empire in India adversely affected the services conditions of the sepoys. They were sent to distant regions away from their homes without the payment of extra allowance. The British authorities used to withdraw the allowances after the conquest and annexation of a province and post the same troops in those very provinces on reduced salaries. These measures naturally demoralized the sepoys and even led to mutinous behavior among them. Next point is the General Service Enlistment Act, which was passed in the year 1856. The sepoys were forced to go on expeditions to Burma and Afghanistan, which violated their religious values. Crossing the seas was prohibited by the Dharma, as the one who crossed the forbidden seas was bound to lose their caste. In order to prevent any kind of resistance from the sepoys against their deployment abroad, Lord Canning's government passed the General Service Enlistment Act in the year 1856. By this act, all future recruits to the Bengal army were required to give an undertaking that they would serve anywhere their services might be required by the government. Our next point is lack of discipline among the British officers. The situation was made worse by the lack of discipline among the European officers, as they were greedy, ready to denounce and even disobey the government on questions of pay and allowances. This kind of behavior on the part of the British officers set a bad example for the sepoys and excited contempt from them. The sepoys laid little faith in the promises of their officers. Immediate cause. The greased cartridges. In the year 1856, the government decided to replace the old-fashioned muskets by the Enfield rifles. Dum, Ambala and Sialkot were chosen as centers to train the soldiers in the use of those new weapons. In order to load the Enfield rifle, the greased wrapping paper of the cartridge had to be bitten off by the soldier. In January 1857, a rumor began to spread in the Bengal regiments that the greased cartridges contained the fat of cows and pigs. The Sepoys became convinced that the introduction of the grease cartridges was a deliberate attempt on the part of the British to defile their religion. The Sepoys refused to use these cartridges. The authorities regarded this act as bold disobedience from the Sepoys and an act of insubordination. The action taken by the British against those Sepoys who refused to use the grease cartridges finally led to the outbreak of the Revolt of 1857. Thank you.